уважаемым гостем, которого зовут Эли. Он из Канады. Также на связи у нас из Канады Ширин и из Нидерландов Сирия. Всем привет.
Здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте. Этот эфир у нас посвящен, как и множество других эфиров, проекту «Созидательное общество». Что это за проект? Это очень большой проект, который охватывает 180 стран мира. Люди из всех этих стран подхватывают эту идею, потому что она глубоко вживается в нашу жизнь. И одна из ветвей этого проекта называется «6 рукопожатий». Вот. И как раз таки в рамках этого проекта у нас сегодняшний наш разговор. Сильвия, расскажи немножечко, пожалуйста, о проекте 6 рукопожатий. Для тех, кто не знает еще.
Конечно, с удовольствием. Спасибо, Вика. Здравствуйте, дорогие друзья, здравствуйте, зрители. Очень интересный эфир у нас сегодня предполагается. 6 рукопожатий. Что это вообще такое? Вы знаете, на самом деле это очень интересный концепт. Это социальная теория, которая предполагает, что два человека на Земле могут быть знакомы через 6 рукопожатий, то есть через других 5 людей. Это очень интересный концепт, который был выдвинут двумя психологами из Америки в 1969 году. Изучив этот концепт, мы подумали, что почему бы нам не попробовать делать прямые эфиры с разными странами, с разными людьми из разных городов по вот этому концепту, чтобы познакомиться друг с другом и рассказать про концепт созидательного общества. Сегодня у нас в гостях Эли и Ширин. Не могла бы ты задать Эли наш коронный вопрос?
Ширин.
Спасибо, Сильвия. Я с удовольствием представлю сегодня нашего уважаемого гостя Эли Чагаева, который живет в Канаде. И он является профессиональным тренером, кинологом. Эли, я бы хотела задать вам вопрос непосредственно той беседы, которую мы сегодня хотим услышать и поделиться со всем миром. Мой вопрос к вам. Почему вы выбрали профессию кинолога? Что вас привело к этому? И не могли бы вы поделиться вот с вашим пониманием, вашим видением, вашими успехами? Я знаю, что вы этой профессией занимаетесь уже на протяжении 16 лет и довольно-таки успешно. И что вы широко известны не только в Канаде, но и за пределами ее. Например, в Америке очень популярна ваша слава и ваши успехи. Вот поделитесь, пожалуйста, расскажите вот о себе, о своей профессии, как вы к ней пришли, вот какие человеческие качества вам помогали и помогают по сегодняшний день.
Немножко расскажу, как это все началось. В бывшем Советском Союзе мы проживали в республике Чечено-Ингушской республике, в Шелковском районе. Постоянно у нас было хозяйство. Уличные собаки. Я бегал, все время мечтал быть профессиональным кинологом, но не знал, если это получится. И любил собак с детства. Мама все время меня ругала и говорила, зачем ты приводишь домой собак, она могла проснуться утром и увидеть еще много очень. С этого все началось. Вообще моя мечта была быть ветеринаром. Я помню, у нас был зоотехник, который всегда проходил и здоровался каждое утро, и у меня было много вопросов к нему. И он мне говорил, тебе нужно быть ветеринаром. Но в связи с ситуацией в жизни не так все получилось, и не так все сложилось.
But now it's not like that as I wished to, and now I had to leave my republic. We moved, and then I moved to the Israel, and also I served in army there. Then I left the army and like get married and then get back to the army. And at one point, I was I get to the cynology course, cynology, and there I finished the course. And after the finishing it, the dog trainer course, I became the chief manager of the in the army of the dog trainer, and I started to try, and each time I understood that I'm good at it, and thanks to some people, after that I will speak about whom I'm thankful for. And little by little, I moved forward, step by step, and I understood that I can do more. I started to understand dogs, and still I'm understanding them. It's my career, and I do it with love. And what is connected, how I came here, and how I try to be good at it and move forward and be a professional. Also, like, dogs help me in that, because there is a specific approach. And what is the approach to the dogs? I'm very curious about that. And also, what qualities are moving you to it? I had some people, they had some problems because they had a cat and a dog, and they asked me to help them because they really wanted that their cat and their dog would live together and be friends. And the dog also always wanted to move away the cat, but I succeeded in friending them, and the woman said that I had a very good energy, that I could manage to do that. And people also, when they call me by phone and ask to help them, sometimes I don't need even to go out. Sometimes I can just help them by phone call. Yeah, and sometimes it's always also in money, because it's not really cheap service. Maybe, for example, they are 4 or 5 hours away from me driving, and sometimes it's better to help them just by phone call, by talk. So yeah, also I have some secrets, but the main secret is to feel the animal and be one step forward from it.
This is just like playing chess, right? Sort of like that, yes. Sorry that I might have interrupted you, but still. I've gotten to know the article for which I've contacted you, and you've agreed to participate in our conference. So this is a big article for the whole page, and in our Canadian paper, Russian Express, or yet again. And this article, it really fascinated me. So I was reading it, and I felt like this is not just a dog trainer, and this is just a person who improves himself. What touched me before, what you mentioned about yourself. It's impossible to become a dog trainer if you don't have the persistence, the resistance, being self-centered and kind-hearted. All of those qualities our respected guest has. Eli Chagaev, sorry. And so you mentioned this story, how you reached to become a dog trainer. So this your dream, if it's really that way, that comes from the soul or from the depths of you. And you applying forces and applying like any
не
types of
фиксируя особо
movements,
свое
not
внимание,
even
но
like
только ты
fixing your
идешь к этой цели,
attention,
да,
but
готовишься,
you are
какие-то
leaning to that.
человеческие качества, они начинают
You and
расцветать.
some
И в один
personal
момент
values
вам
become
предлагают, что
bigger,
вот почему-то
and so
выбрали вас,
on.
чтобы вы прошли
And
обучение на
so
кинолога,
they
потому что,
picked you
наверное,
to
это
become a
неспроста,
dog
потому
trainer,
что
and
вот
it
эти качества,
wasn't
если
just
вам
so
Это
because
судьба.
those values
судьба,
and
но
Да,
знаете,
and it is
судьба,
probably
да,
fate,
судьба, но
really.
для этого
Yeah, fate
человек
is fate,
и
but like for
хорошо
that,
с
the
детства.
person's
Любовь
supposed to be, and
даже
like from the
таким
childhood and everything,
собакам, которые оказались
to love
не
to the
дома, не
dogs that
нужны
are
кому-то,
not
но человек
like the
брал и
stray ones,
воспитывал,
but
да?
the person
Поэтому
just
вот
took them and
расскажите
educated
немножко о
them.
том, вот
Could you
какие вот
also
эти
tell a
качества,
few
как они
words
у
like
вас
what are those values and
возникают,
how
как они у
did
вас
they appear and
укрепляются,
how
как они у
did
вас
they been have been there
развиваются.
enforced or
И вот
developed
эта же
in
профессия кинолога,
the
она
same
потребовала
type
от
of
вас,
job like
смотрите,
dog
вы
trainer?
изучаете
It has
психологию,
required from you
наверное,
because you
собак,
study
да, и
psychology of
ветеринарию,
dogs
и, наверное,
probably and
еще и
vet
много-много чего,
science and everything
которое идет
else
вам прям
that is
от
connected and
любви,
helping
да,
you
просто вам
from the
потребность это
love
изучить,
because
чтобы стать
it's like the
действительно
need for you, right, to become
высокопрофессиональным
a high
тренером-кинологом.
professional dog
да.
trainer.
Еще раз начну с того момента,
Yeah, I'd like
что,
to start from the
наверное,
fact that
попал
probably
я на этот курс благодаря
I've
одному
got
человеку,
into this
его
course
помощник
thanks to
офицера, у
one
нас на тот момент
person,
был.
the officer's
Он в
assistant.
Израиле проживает,
He was
его зовут
living in
Эли Хана,
Israel. His name is
который постоянно
Hana,
слышал от
who
меня
always
только
heard
про
from
собак
me
все.
only about the
Собаки,
dogs. That was
собаки,
the
и
only
он по
topic,
сегодняшний
like
день со мной
dogs,
на
dogs,
связи,
dogs. And he
он
still,
приобрел сейчас
we
собаку
keep in touch, and
наконец-то.
he finally
И
got a
когда
dog.
прислали запрос на
And when
желающих,
they
кто хочет выйти,
like
я сказал, соответственно, он
acquired
сразу предложил мне, и я был единственным
the
человеком в
application
северном
of who
округе,
wanted to
который
be
попал
in
на
the
этот курс.
North
Но
District, who
выйти
become
на курс,
to
как говорится,
who
вот,
got into that
качество.
course and get to the
Качество не
course,
только
the
зависит от
quality of
меня, опять
that.
же, от
The quality is
моего
not only
партнера.
dependent
На
on
тот
me and
момент у
my
меня был
partner.
партнер
That
первый,
moment in
который
time, I
сейчас
had
живет
my
в СНАП,
first partner, a dog named
который,
Snap,
кстати, на
who was
А
10
сколько
actually.
порода?
And what
бельгийской
was the
овчаркой.
breed? The
Ой,
Belgium Hound.
Тоже
вообще.
из Бельгии.
Wonderful.
Из
From
Бельгии он
Belgium.
прошел определенный курс
He
дрессировки, он
passed like
занимался спортом,
preparation
но,
courses,
видимо, по
he did
каким-то
sports,
причинам он не
but for
прошел
some reason he didn't
на
pass
определенный экзамен или
for a specific test
хозяин
or
решил
exam,
продать его,
or the owner
и те,
decided to
кто
sell him.
с полиции выезжали
And
в
people who
Голландию и в
went from
Бельгию,
police and to
они выбрали
Belgium,
СНАПа,
they
потому
picked
что
this dog
страны на сегодняшний
because the
день для
countries
покупки
right now
собак
for
это
the
Словакия,
procurement of
это
the dogs is
Чехия, это
Slovakia and Czech
Голландия и
Republic,
Бельгия.
which
Это
is
страны номер один по
Poland. Those are
подготовке
the countries number
молодых
one
собак,
on
не тренировок.
training
Именно
or
собак, которые
preparing the dogs. The
предназначены для
dogs that
чего?
are meant for like a specific
Приспособления для
purpose,
поиска,
like for
изучать,
search and rescue, for
собак,
the
антитеррор и
explosive
многое
search,
другое. И
anti-terroristic
вот эти
things, and
страны
others. So
очень
those countries,
как бы продвигаются, они
they
молодцы,
are moving
очень много
forward in innovation in the dog training services and the level of
людей, которые
dog
занимаются в
trainers, of
этих
people
странах,
who
потому
take
что
care of those things in those
у них
countries.
нету им равных.
It's
И у
like
меня
above and
был
beyond. There's nobody who
учитель,
can be like in the
его
same
зовут
level
Англий,
with
он
them.
психолог, он даже
I
в
had a
Германии
teacher who was a
несколько раз ехал,
psychologist
преподавал в
who'd been in
Германии
Germany for a few times. He even taught like lessons and lectures in Germany. He had a course on preparing dogs for search of explosives. And he found out in a moment when he was a student, how can you see
следующий шаг собаки. И может
dogs' next steps?
были на этот момент, они это
And
не
that
заметили,
my
поняли.
colleagues who were studying with me, he didn't know that.
Фактом, у меня
And
была
he placed me in
собака,
front of the
Snap,
fact that I had a dog, this
который
Snap,
всегда был веселый,
who was
когда мы
always
ходили на
like happy and
площадку,
so
где
on. But when
мы
as soon as we
тренировались,
be in a playground where we had to train,
своих собак
or
и
the training
учить
ground,
о дисциплине,
and to
он
teach
всегда
them
был без
discipline, he
настроения.
was
То, что он
always,
делал,
he didn't have
уши
any
висели,
mood.
хвост
His
лежал.
ears were dropped
И он
and
мне
the tail
сказал,
was
у тебя
dropped,
есть
and he said,
неделя.
you have a
Если в
week,
течение недели
and if during
собака
this
не
week the
меняется, мы
dog
меняем
does not
тебе
change, we
другую
are changing
собаку.
you and give you the new
Когда ты
dog.
привыкаешь, ты
But when you get
бросишь.
used to, you have to force yourself
Простите, я
to.
вас перебью. Вы
Sorry
сказали,
for
что
interrupting.
вам
You said that
партнер.
you had a
У меня в
partner,
голове была
and in my
ассоциация,
head I
что
had an
человек.
association like a person,
А
or
вы потом говорите
and
собака.
you're saying
То
the
есть вы
dog
к
is a
собаке
partner, so
относитесь
you
очень
treat a dog as a
трогательно,
as in the level of the partnership, right? So it's like the trust and everything. You have to do so since the dog has a purpose, right? So it's not just like playing with the ball or something. For the most of people, they only do so for us as a trainer. This is also like what we earn from, and we are trying to help the people who are in need of help. Buying a dog or buying a puppy into any type of the residence, you have to treat it as an animal that has feelings, own character, and has principles, and that knows what's good, what's bad, and they know what's bad is much faster than what's good. Maybe just as kids. It does sound like in the silver lining how important it is to be responsible, not just in 1 minute will, but just responsibility. You have to prepare, and then you just answer for the being. Yes. Those are the human values. This is really important, and knowing the fact that I was placed in front of the fact that I didn't know what to do, and I asked to be, my wife was pregnant. They said, no, you'll be going home, know what's right. I understood what I did wrong. The way I tell or speak to the dog, my actions was not right. I wanted to be somebody else or mean somebody. Seeing like a dog trainer who worked there for a few years, I wanted to be him, but I understand. But no, don't have to be somebody. I have to be my true and something self, and I have to be myself, not be worried, be calm, and tone myself to the topic. I've set the goal. I came back. We usually be back at like 10, and the first thing we would do, we would get out with the dogs. We would have to pet them, work with them, and at 12 o'clock we had like lunch. Then we've gathered on the ground, the training ground. We were told what we have on the timetable. When I've been back in distance, I saw how he was searching for me. That we had under like 13 cages in the police school, and from the far, I started to call for him and saying I love you and you're the best and everything, and changed the tone of my voice. And see the dog is jumping and happy and with his tail, and in a moment he didn't like put his tail down. And in this moment of time I understood that I would be lucky and successful and everything would be well. And from time to time I understood that if I had another dog, his name is Fjord, who was just removed from the action because he came from Netherlands.
Yeah, it's like that. So, and he was really good. I even have some, proud of myself. So it's Netherlands. And it was really serious test, but the new environment was like psychologically crashed him. And we did some specific actions, and what was interesting, so that dog get used every time to the new people. So for example, if I was before on the base, and then for the first time, if you came and tried to feed them, he was just barking at you. And my school teacher, my police school teacher, he said, from this day you will be his coach, and you will have the second dog. And between the one dog and the second, which has the strong character, and when the other is a little bit scary, it was quite hard. And how I could do that, and I understood that every dog is different, just like people. And I started to work for the two of them, so the strong dog and the not the strong dog, because I had to help the weak dog, and it worked. So at the end, I received the good marks, and they said to me that you were good, like great job, and you succeed. And also there were two other guys from the border, and such my career started. So I met new dogs and some weak dogs, and I had to lift them up to the next level because because we could not have that much money to buy new dogs, and some other services, they just gave us some dogs that were quite old already. And from this moment, this psychology act, when I started to understand dogs, where the dog is aggressive, where it is not, and I have to be with the dogs, that it can be then passed to a new dog trainer and to go to the job. And because so this is what my job. So it was not only preparing dog trainers and dogs, but also to check the level of preparing and also find new dogs that they could be there and work also. So when talking about civil work, so really so usually the civil person, they just let everything do for the dog, and then they become kind of wrong, and then they have some problems after that. And when the person says you cannot do it, and the dogs think, well, if I could not do it before, why cannot do that now? And now really people recommend me, they write to me, because really I'm quite successful with that. And and even with the dogs from some different dogs, I really can be good with them. You really have such interesting profession. I cannot meet really often person doing that kind of job, and it is really good that you use all your responsibility to your job. And I really like to tell every person on earth with this responsibility to their jobs, and that you are not only bringing help to people, but also to dogs, and maybe that are missing some understanding from the people, and that you are cleaning these links between dogs and people. And I really like that you didn't work, and then you thought, and then you searched inside yourself and understood the desire to be someone else. And it is really worth, because not every person can look inside themselves and understand some inner subconscious feelings. And really, when we speak about that, all 8 foundations of creative society, so that really people of different countries, they speak about these 8 foundations and what they would like to live in, and all people find some moments when they can solve some problems, and then they find the problems inside of themselves. So really, first of all, they had to be more. So I want to speak to you about the creative society, the 8 foundations of creative society. Really, for me, the 6th foundation is really good. So, and sharing, maybe you can read aloud this foundation. Yeah, for sure. And first of all, before I will read the 6th foundation, I would say that on the platform ALLATRA UNITES, this article was really published And today our guest Eli Chagaev said about his development as a person, as a human, how he got this profession, putting much effort to. And today in his speech, he said about the aim. So he just put the aim and then solve it. So not to be afraid of some obstacles, just to find out what's there and understand what, and not put responsibility on some others that there is not kind of that human or that dog. And really in this article about the 8 foundations of creative society, there are such words. So the main thing is aim. If there is an aim, and everything have some meaning, and if there is no aim, all the rest is meaningless. So today, even if you like, even that you didn't read that article before, you just show that these foundations that are in these foundations, they are living already in people that are creative, because some people are also doing that in their lives already. So not like going to job, like work for 8 hours and then forget, but really live that by 24 hours per day, and at the same time at the same time you can also be a good family man and good friend. And in this talk, you also said about many people that you were talk about with gratitude and love, and I understood that these people were really good, that they were really had all these best human qualities, that they are bringing some good qualities, something good to the society. And really by going into these 6 foundations is really about you. It is called development of personality. So let me read it out. Every person in the creative society has the right to comprehensive development and personal fulfillment. Education should be free and equally accessible to all, creating conditions and expanding opportunities for a human to implement his or her creative abilities and talents. So about the last two lines, that for a person to be successful, to move forward, I know that really you are it's everything develops in your sphere, and I think that really in our time it's really hard for a person, because there are some financial problems. So now we have that coronavirus problem, but the creative society gives us an opportunity to get education freely, to prosper, to change our priorities. Yeah, you really can get a lot of time to be with your friends, to be with your family, and maybe you have some other interests, and with that you are not doing because you don't have enough time for them. What can you say about that? Yeah, if we go back to what you said, every person in this life should understand himself, find himself, and go his own path. That's what I tell to my clients that bring their dogs and want to do something with them. And I also say to them that I'll just show you the way, and if you go that way, you will do something. If you don't follow, if you will lazy, you won't get anything. And the second is the aim. If you will be respectful towards the society, towards others. Yeah, now I live with my wife, and my wife really helped me. That she really said to me that do what you like, and yeah, not do many other things. Because really, when you come to another countries, it's hard because like 2 months, 2 years in one province, 2 years in other province, all the buyings, it's a bit hard. But she really said to me, do what you like to do. Because the love towards towards what you do is really it's really important. Not look back and really respect. So respect is one of the principles of everything. So if you don't respect society, if you don't respect nature, if you don't respect yourself, then you won't get some promotions in this life, because you can be on high, but for example, if I lie to someone, then it got back. And the human values, because really people want to be with them who are successful, but it's really not about only be that successful, but just, it's better to do what you like. Even if you have, some piece of bread for your breakfast, but you do what you like, it's much better because you're happy. But many people, they don't know what to do one business or another, the second, 2 or 3 businesses. So they, ask them, and I usually say that just be really follow what you do. So maybe today you have no success, but tomorrow you will have. In your close one also need to support you, because if there's no support of your family, if they are saying to you, you won't do it, it's very hard, it's very expensive, then you will fall. And your wife, your friends that support you, then you will have another quality, is motivation. Motivation must be in everything. How we get up and want to go there to get a cup of coffee and eat something, and you don't really think about how many hours you will work, but think about success, that success would be in everything that you do. And that's really the second foundation of the creative society. May also read it aloud. It's also really just here. Every human is born with the right to be a human being. All people are born free and equal. Everyone has the right to choose. There can be no one and nothing on earth above a human. His freedom and rights. The implementation of human rights and freedoms must not violate the rights and freedoms of others. So you to the society and the society to you. So such kind of a society must exist. But unfortunately, there is not works. There also, but we really need to go toward that. You are doing such a great job, and even through the article, I understand that, and people who are close to you, knows you, and such people, I also want to be like that person, to follow his example, to follow all the best from this person. It's very good. And I have a person also, now he is in Israel. His name is Arkady Shulman. He is a teacher for me in this, and he always supported me with some words. He always said, "Do and you will get the result, because you have everything to do that." And he, as a person, has come through many, and he get to Israel and opened a really big a place where he trains dogs, and he put all his finances, all his strengths into this, that this job will work and it will bring benefits for the government. And he always told me not go back, and also I put an aim before me. And if you have a support, it's one more power. But if you don't have support, you have to support yourself psychologically. Yeah, it's really interesting. Sharing, sorry, me, I also add something. Can you say how?
So the time has run out. Thank you so much for such an interesting topic and the discussion. It was really interesting. For myself, I made a conclusion out of this discussion that it's so important to reach for the goal, to set the goal, reach for the goal, to work on the job you love. It's so important for a person. Looking at you, and it's so vivid. No matter what, you need to find a way to work on the beloved job. Many people, we have conditions so that not everybody work on the job that they love, but it's in our hands to build a creative society where every single person will work as you on the beloved job. But with that, having this objective and the goal in front of the self to be a person from the capital letter P. And so the most important part, which is the conscientious and the honor, I think that those are one of the most important characteristics of a person that are supposed to be the main one and never be forgotten. Thank you so much for the broadcast. It was so interesting. If you would like to add a few conclusive words to our viewers, if you'd like to share this information and to invite people that you mentioned, we will also be grateful that have something to say and something to share. I will do so gladly that in this complicated and hard day, in this complicated time that we have with COVID and everything else, to every viewer, to every person on this world, I wish them health, so that for every person to be happy, for them to smile every day sincerely, to bring joy to each other, supporting each other, for them not to know what bad things are or experience them in their lives. Never detach from your goals, so always reach for your goals. Be sure of yourself and be confident, because the support and success is the power of our life. So be successful. And for you, dear holders and moderators, thank you for inviting. You can be back. For me, it was such a great revelation and such a big discussion. I've been called and they asked me to a live broadcast. And thank you again so much for picking me personally. And I really sincerely hope that if people have any questions, they will be able to find and reach and contact me no matter where they live. I will be able to help with what I can do. Thank you so much for you doing such a wonderful deed, and you're connecting so many countries and trying to help people find themselves. Thank you so much. People have to find themselves, and everything else will be well. And we have a proposal to you. Next time, you can also call for your friend and with your wife or anything else, for somebody who you know to participate as a like moderator or co-moderator to speak on the creative society topic and on the selection of your profession or the job that you like, or anything that interesting for your party. ALLATRA platform is happy to welcome everybody. We'll help you with everything we can, and technical capacity will be provided. Thank you so much. Please stay safe and let's love each other and love for each other. And thank you for spreading the seeds of goodness, kindness, goal achievable, and what you've got, because you are open to receive such a wonderful information for such a as well positive and wonderful and life-centered people, so that we have the common chance and joint chances. And it's only dependent on us. What we pick is what we become, and who we'd like to be as well. So then the person from the capital letter P, it's really important, and it's really important to remember who you are. Thank you so much yet again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a wonderful day.